So you've got a really dirty car and you want to wash it in a very thorough but efficient way. This is the video for you. I've got 5 products. I'm going to demonstrate this on one panel. Take a look at this vehicle. It has not been washed in the Utah winter in at least a month. I know it's so hard to see on white, but you can see a leaf, you can see dirt, you can see caked residue on this paint. So the question is, how do I safely and effectively wash my panel, decontaminate my panel, and protect my panel? I'm talking about the panel, I'm talking about the paint, I'm talking about plastics, glass, you name it, we're gonna cover that, but we're gonna do it on one panel. Now, it doesn't matter what products you use. I'm a DIY detail man, but you say here on the Nick at Night podcast that you like to see different products, so we're gonna use a couple products from Quiver, we're gonna use a few products from DIY. The whole idea when you want to deeply wash your paint is foam rinse foam or chemical rinse chemical. You really want a rinse sandwich in there. And that is why I'm going to use Impact Foam, a high alkaline foam from Josh V. Could I use Incredible Suds? Yes. Could I use Rinseless Wash? Yes. And I'm gonna do this in a hybrid fashion. So you're like, okay, Nick, you promised me a fast wash, now you're getting complicated. No, go rinseless, hose it off. Rinseless wash, go right to your contact wash. Go Incredible Suds, rinse, Incredible Suds, contact wash. What I love about Rinseless Wash is it's fun to use, it's slick, it's just so native to what I do. I love the efficiency of Rinseless Wash. So if you weren't gonna decontaminate after, the hybrid method is foam something on, rinse it, then rinseless wash, then go ahead and do your contact wash, and you can just dry from there. Why am I using a foam instead of just rinseless? Rinseless. I'm using a foam because visually to me, there's so much crap on this paint. I want to get as much as I can in suspension. Imagine if I just show you a close-up of this paint, you just take a pressure washer right to an object on there. Imagine the microscopics of this leaf or the stick that's covering the paint or just any of this dirt. It's got all these jagged little edges, right? If I'm hitting it with a whatever, 1,200 or 2,100 pounds per square inch, whatever my pressure washer says, PSI, you're just driving that into the paint, you're introducing scratch risk. So I wanna flood the panel with something like high alkaline, like Impact Foam from Josh V's Quiver lineup. I wanna suspend everything, I wanna dissolve it, emulsify it, and then when I rinse it off, it's more safely gonna go off on that sort of cushion. We've done something to what's on the paint first, we've put it in a polymeric cushion, or we've suspended a lot of that crud, or we've softened the crud, then we rinse it, then we put another foaming on for our lubrication, and then we go ahead and wash. Anyway, I promise this is gonna be fast. Let's get to it. You don't need to see me, you need to see this panel, and that is what we're gonna show you now. So I had to do the Quiver Impact soap with the Quiver foam can, and it only seemed right. 10-to-1 dilution, I just glugged it. If I have a really dirty car, like I said, I do like to foam first. When you're talking about just, all this kind of crud, I know Rinseless cleans amazingly well. I just like foaming something on. I like a foaming soap first before I go ahead and rinse. So let's foam and we'll go from there. Some serious foam. So let's say you're foaming the entire car, you're gonna have a little bit of dwell time built in, which is why I'm just kind of letting this sit here. But you'd foam the entire vehicle, right? Then you'd rinse this off, then you apply your next product. I'm just kind of yapping a little bit to give this really high pH foam time to do what it needs to do, right? There's principles in cleaning, CHAT, chat, chemical, heat, agitation, and time. Time is dwell time. If this chemical has dwell time, it can do what it's designed to do. And for that very reason, I'm gonna let it dwell just a little bit longer before we go ahead and hose it off. And partially there's a safety aspect too, right? I want a lot of this to break things down. I don't wanna be pressure washing crud off the paint, introducing scratch risk. So we're letting it dwell. The chemical is powerful, that's part of chat. I've used a high alkaline cleaner here, right? We're going after the oil and the grease with this step. We're also going after just a safe dropping of the crud on a nice little blanket, a nice little carpet ride down the paint. Let's talk about coated paint. There's still some water beading, but there's still some that is not beading at all. Most of the lines of grime are gone, but I still see shadows of grime. The contact wash is so critical at this stage. So I've got Indo Rinseless Wash from Quiver as well. That's our next step in the hybrid wash. I've got my DIY Detail Rinseless Wash bottle here. I just dipped this into the diluted Rinseless Wash. So I'm gonna pre-treat the panel, right? Foam, rinse, foam, chemical, rinse, chemical. Or in the case of the hybrid wash, foam, rinse, chemical, right? Don't overthink this. We're just getting the rinseless wash on the surface. Again, you don't have to rinse this off at the end, which is what I love about rinseless wash if you're just doing a wash. That's why I love the hybrid method. Today I didn't want to foam more because I'm using a cord-free pressure washer, a cordless pressure washer. It takes more water. I have to go get buckets of water from my kitchen and I don't want to do that. So we're trying to limit the amount of water I'm using. Anyway, here's my rinseless wash. We're gonna go ahead and do the contact wash. The Legacy Sponge from DIY Detail. Go get yourself any of the products you see in this video at thehouseofrags.com. Save yourself 10% using promo code NickAtNight. So I can tell this panel's really dirty. How can I tell that? Because kind of in the lines of my wash, it's looking brown. So what do I do there? Well, I'll usually flip the side, but that was so dirty that I used one side and then one side and it's still brown. I don't know if you can see this is brown, but what I'm gonna do here is I'm actually gonna do the Legacy Sponge one more time. And if the lines are now clear under my sponge, I'm good. They were clear up here, but it was so dirty under here. Let's do one more right here and we're good to go. So now you could literally wipe because Rinseless is its own drying aid and you'd be good. But we're not done just yet. Welcome to the world of decontamination. A lot of companies will say spray your iron remover everywhere. Not a DIY Detail. Grab your decon towel, iron remover. One spray of iron remover on the panel and one on your towel. Where you spray the iron remover is where you put the towel. And I'm just working this to potentially get to any above surface embedded contaminants on the paint. The rinseless wash is its own form of lubrication. Flip your towel whenever you feel like it's time, or at the bare minimum, flip it every new panel. So if this felt even grimy to me, I might even, okay, I just want to try one more, right? I'm gonna do this, boom. Then I'm gonna go ahead and finish, quote unquote, claying this panel. After I'm done 4 sides, I put this back in the bucket. I go ahead and re-lubricate it. It's clean and ready to go. We have the quad fold towel. This is the older version of our clay towel. You can get the newer version, the quad fold towel, at thehouseofrags.com. You guys, this system works so amazing. If you're not using it, you're missing out. Okay, so we've got a clean panel, right? It's decontaminated? Not quite. Next step, water spot remover. Water spot remover should really just be called like a mineral cleanse at this point. So we're just gonna be kind of liberal with it. I tend to be a little more liberal than I need to be, but that's water spot remover. I'm gonna give that a little bit of dwell time, but it's not sufficient to just spray this on and rinse it off. What this is gonna do is neutralize the minerals that are clogging up my coating there. I'm gonna give it a little bit of dwell time, but remember, chat, chemical heat agitation time, we need to agitate now. Agitation will help work water spot remover into the pores of the coating in this case, and really eliminate that sort of embedded mineral content. Then we can rinse this off and get really clean paint. Our level 1 towels are fantastic for a ceramic coating application. And you just wash them in Renaissance microfiber detergent and they're ready to coat again. What you could also do is use them to work in your water spot remover. Now, what am I seeing? A lot of suds. What did I probably do? Put way too much rinseless wash in that bucket. Not a concern, right? I just don't want to have too much product in my towel. And unlike every other time I ever use a towel, I'm just gonna keep it to one side, so I'm not flipping sides. The whole idea is we've washed this section, right? So we don't need to do anything more than simply work the water spot remover in. Now we've sprayed it on, given it some dwell time, worked it in. I'm not putting this back in my rinseless wash bucket. This gets rinsed out separately. We have decontaminated the paint. Now it's time for that final rinse. Holy cow, do you see how the water is just beating there again? You see how that works? It's amazing. This is how we truly decontaminate paint. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but there were lots of flat sections here, right? It wasn't beating here before. Now it is beating again. It is a beautiful thing. This is why we decontaminate with water spot remover. And finally, folks, America's favorite ceramic detail spray, Envy from DIY Detail. I mean, look at this. Paired with the Mini Goat, I've tried all the towels from the House of Rags. Probably my favorite is the Mini Goat. Fantastic towel. One spray of Envy, not on the towel. You don't want to gunk up your towel. You just do one spray per panel, folks. That's all you need. And where you deposit the towel is just like with the iron remover and the decon towel. It's exactly where you spray on the panel. So just spray on the panel, put your towel there, boom. You've got extra protected paint, you've dried it, and it's glossy. That's how you deeply clean and decontaminate paint. I want to do it quickly, and that is exactly how it's done. Okay, I have an entire vehicle to detail. I gotta do that on every panel, but there's lots of 30-minute videos on the internet. I wanted to keep this one a little shorter. We washed, we decontaminated, and we protected this paint. Didn't protect the glass, didn't protect this just yet. Same concept, right? One spray of Envy, put it where you sprayed the towel, boom, dry, and we're all done. The thing is, I gotta impact film this entire car. I gotta do the wheels. That's for a separate video, guys. This was just to show you if you want to deeply clean your vehicle after a long winter. Those are the basic steps. The rest is about fun. The rest is about efficiency. Enjoy yourself, enjoy the process. I'm gonna put some music on, I'm gonna vibe out. Folks, if you wanna save 10% on any of the product that you saw in this video, go to thehouseofrags.com and use promo code NICK@night.